Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2015 STP 500 at Martinsville race review right here. So I'm back right here with another race review, and we're going to recap right here today's race at Martinsville Speedway right here. And if you go down to the description, what I decided to kind of like the theme that I have for this race is like a race that some might say was exciting, or to others it might be sort of like a disappointing race, And we're also going to talk about and maybe also question NASCAR's decisions to like throw a caution, mainly the last caution right here, you know, and um and like and also kind of like touch on like the topic of like should NASCAR really be really be blamed for throwing a caution that caused everyone to come down the road, which caused some penalties that are here. Is that really NASCAR's fault, or is that kind of like the team's fault? I'm just gonna hit like a side note on that right here. And also today we saw some drivers finally end the slump. Drivers like the Joe Gibbs, Michael Waltrip Racing, and Clint Boyer. He was up there in the top 10. We saw Patrick almost get her best career finish or tie it. And we also saw drivers like Johnson, Ryan Newman, and Jay Allmendinger, which all had great runs leading up to this race, but then for some strange reason they all slumped right here. So we're also going to talk about that right here. Well, let's see. Where should I start? Well, I guess just like almost like every other week, I might as well start with my pre-race notes right here. So this race is called the STP 500, for I believe it is now, I want to say like the third year in a row. I think that could be the fourth. And leading up this weekend, there were news headlines such as, for example, opening round qualifying is now extended to 20 minutes from 15 right here, and this is only at short and intermediate tracks. And also, when I look at my notes here, there's also a longer amount of time, a longer amount of time to get through pre-race inspection. I think all of this coming in the wake of like the Atlanta race where we had 13 cars fail pre-race inspection here, and those 13 drivers, which includes some big names, weren't able to qualify in that Atlanta race. And let's see her here. And probably the other big story was just simply the hype for Xfinity Series champion Chase Elliott here to make his debut at Martinsville. And because he is a rookie running a part-time schedule, Hendrick Motorsports is allowed to have a fifth car here, and he was the fifth driver here. I want to say that his crew chief was Kane Francis, who I believe was one of Casey Kane's former crew chiefs right here. And my thoughts are here is that usually when I hear things like a new driver coming in the Sprint Cup, I don't really get like that excited, mainly because it's happened really ever since the beginning of NASCAR. So I don't really think there's like too much of a reason for me to get excited over that. But I was definitely, happy to see him get his first career start, because the thing is he's come a long way, and I think he's definitely earned this cup right here. It wasn't like it wasn't like he came from like a rich family, so they could like afford a cup right here. And I think I'll definitely be like rooting for Chase Elliott, not as much as like drivers like my favorite driver Jimmy Johnson. I'm not gonna be rooting for him like go go go, but I'll definitely be rooting for him for this year and also next year and beyond. I'm curious to see what he gets to do down the road. And I guess now we can now get to the rain delay. Well, actually, before I get to that, I guess I should maybe talk about. Actually, I think I'll just talk about later in the reviewer here. Okay, never mind. Let's now get back to what I was originally going to say right here. Early on Friday, there was a rain delay right here, and I think it might have canceled maybe a truck series practice session or whatever, but I'm not exactly sure right here. But definitely it delayed a lot of things, including delaying, I think, qualifying in the Sprint Cup Series by an hour and 30 minutes, I believe. So when qualifying ended, it was actually pretty late at night right here. But Logano got the pole. Newman actually topped the opening practice just before the qualifying right here. And then on Saturday, when we look at Saturday right here, Hamlin won the second practice, and then Kurt dominated practice number 3. And then probably the other big news coming out Saturday was that Kyle Larson fainted during autographs right here, and then he was taken to, I think, a Charlotte hospital right here where he was evaluated, and they said that it would be best for Larson to stay out of the car, and Larson becomes the 6th driver since February 2014 to be sidelined right here for a certain amount of time. Regan Smith hopped in the car, and I gotta say, I think Regan Smith did a pretty good job right here. It's now becoming a norm for him, and I'm definitely, I am kind of curious to see when Regan Smith, if he wants to, will come back in the Spec Up Series. I know he's said it before, but the thing is, I'm just kind of curious to see when that will happen. And also, I guess the last note here is that they were at Martinsville, which is the first. Which this race is the first of what it is 6 short track races right here. I'm just trying to think right here. But I guess that's pretty much all of the previous action that I caught. But anyway, now let's get into the race here. The race is 500 laps here, and because it was 500 laps, it was kind of hard to exactly write down everything that was going on, because the thing is, there was indeed a lot going on, but I wasn't able to capture it all right here. So here's what I have right here. So Joe got right here was on the pole, and he got the lead earlier here, or he didn't get the lead, but he was able to clear second place very easily right here, which was Brian Newman at the time right here. And very early on, we saw something. We saw most of the top 10 get single file right here, but then our first caution of the day came out when Trevin spun. I don't think he hit anything. And then also there was also a near spin with Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson here. But then I restart here on lap 117, and down this restart, it looked like Newman might actually pass Joe Logano here on the outside, but it wasn't able to do it right here. And that'd be kind of like the peak moment for Newman before he started having before his bad luck began to kick in right here. But then quickly after the restart, lap 22 right here, our second caution of the day, when Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spun by himself and backed it into the wall, and this would be the first of, I think, 3 crashes that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will get himself into right here as they turn the page. So 23 right here, pit stops are here. Kurt, Brad, and Jimmy all came down here, but besides that, not really. Most of the leaders stayed out right here. And these are 3 drivers that kind of had ill handling cars early, and some of them were still never able to recover. Lap 26 right here, a restart. Matt Kenseth almost got spun right here. I forget how it happened. I think he was underneath the car, but I don't know which car it was. And then also on lap 36, Truex was being told by NASCAR that there was smoke from the cockpit right here, and I couldn't remember. There were a couple of reports of drivers steering issues in that race, so I don't know if that was the cause right here. But then caution number 3 right here came out for J.J. Daly smacking the terminal wall when he was being lapped by Denny Hamlin here. Him and Hamlin made contact right here, coming out to number 4, and then number 1 smacks the wall. Here, that would be our 3rd caution of the day, and then we had pit stops are here, and compared to Odd Club Raceway and Phoenix, we didn't really see too many strategy calls being made. I think when it comes to drivers making 4 tires or 2 tires, I think when it comes to strategy being made, there was more strategy being made by not coming to the pit at all right here, and I think we would see that on the restart. No here. That'd be a future restart. Restart here on lap 161 here, and all right on the restart. One driver didn't get going, and I think it was Carl Edwards who didn't get going at all here. And what would happen was that this would stack up cars heading into turn 1 here, and drivers like Brett Moffitt and Chase Elliott right here got some heavy damage right here. But they were able to keep their cars going. No caution at that point right here. But they did have heavy damage and were smoking. Denny Hamlin was starting to catch Logano, and this became the first of what would be several instances of a lead change here. I think there were a total of 13 lead changes. I think no, it was 13 different leaders and 31 different lead changes. Yeah, so I was right at first. Okay, so today Hamilton was catching Logano here by lap 70, but then on lap 71 right here, debris most likely from Chase Elliott right here. And then a couple laps later, Chase Elliott went to the garage right here, and this would be kind of like the unfortunately I Chase Elliott had. It wasn't Indy's day, but I gotta say this: I kind of blame whoever decided that Martinsville would be a good idea for Chase Elliott to make his debut, because I gotta say this: Martinsville really is really not a track that you can like take anything out of it and carry it into next week after you leave right here. Because the thing is, Martinsville is a very specific track. It's a very unique track right here, and I feel like that for Chase Elliott to make his first career start was just simply not the good idea. If I was the person making this decision, I would not have had scheduled his first start to be at Martinsville. I would have honestly scheduled his first start to be at like Kansas or something like that, but not Martinsville. And that was kind of one of my like few beefs during the race right here. But and me personally, I was not, expecting like a top 10 or 15 finisher here. To me, honestly, I expected Chase Elliott to finish like somewhere between like 20th and 30th, but even he didn't finish 20th and 30th right here. And it was kind of a rough day. But the thing is, that's Martinsville. I think out of the 5 races that he was scheduled, he already ran Martinsville, and his next 4 races are, I think it's Richmond, and then I think it's Indianapolis, Darlington, and Chicagoland. I think it is. Yeah. I think the race that I'm most excited to see are the last 2, Darlington and Chicagoland, mainly because he got 2 in the Xfinity Series. When they went there last year, he got wins there. Do you remember that very intense finish right there at Darlington last year in the Xfinity Series, where Chase Elliott on pressure tires in 2 laps was able to go from 6th to 1st, and everyone in front of him was like a Cup regular, or almost everyone in front of him. Yeah, that's still one of my favorite moments from last year. So I'm excited to see what Chase Elliott does at Darlington and Chicago here. But so far, Martinsville, Richmond, and Indianapolis, I just can't get excited or can even expect him to get finishes out of those 2 tracks here. But anyway, let's move on right here. And then we had a restart here on lap 82 right here, and then Harvick. All right. Never mind here. I read it wrong right here. Harvick passed Hamlin for 2nd place. So Logano was still leading right here. And then Hamlin got 2nd back 10 laps later here. Caution number 5 right here. Alex Kennedy spins in turn number 4. Pit stops are here. And then Carl Edwards became the 2nd leader of the race right here. And he got the lead off the road because he only took two tires right here. And I gotta say, Carl Edwards, this was the beginning. This was the beginning of what would be seeing Carl Edwards do good at a track that historically he's not been good at. I think he only has like one top 10. He only has like 1 top 10 finishes. At this point here, he only had 1 top 10 finish in his previous 21 starts. The thing is, he was running good. And then also during this race, this is the beginning of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s problems are here, as he had a broken shifter here, and because Martinsville is a short track, and because they didn't want to lose a lap, they weren't really ever to like fix the shifter throughout until a caution later, But it was just simply the beginning for a driver who won the October race last year, and also during the cycle of pit stops, the 78 to 10 and the 40 all stayed out here. Restart right here. Martin Truex Jr. was able to pull away right here, and there was and probably one of the more intense battles of the day was Danica Patrick versus Landon Castle in the 40. I want to say right here, and the way it ended was Landon Castle actually got into Patrick right here, moved her out of the way, but also himself right here, and that's how they lost 2nd and 3rd right here. But by the time that Landon Castle and Patrick were out of like drivers like Harvick and Logano's way, Truex Jr. already had almost a 3-second lead at that point right here. But then he was able to get chased down. But then he got chased down from Logano, I think it was, or who got by Truex here. Kevin Harvick was able to take the lead away from Martin Truex Jr. here on lap 134 here. But before that, Patrick probably had her a scariest moment in the race when she actually hit the outside wall on the backstretch pretty hard right here. And honestly, when I saw that, I was kind of surprised to see where she finished up later because honestly, I thought at that point when she hit the wall on, I think it was lap 123 here, I thought that would actually be the end of her day, or it would start the end of her day. But I'm surprised at that impact into the wall actually did not hurt her car. Right here, and historically, this is one of Patrick's better tracks. You remember 2 years ago when she started 43rd, spun twice, or I think she spun twice. Maybe it was only once, but she fell 2 laps down and was able to get them back to finish 12th. Right here, do you remember that race? Yeah, that was kind of one of my favorite moments of watching her. Right here, and then also, anyway, so back to Harvick taking away from Truex here, and also just as soon as Harvick got around Truex Jr. here, he also put Ryan Newman here a lot down here, and I don't really remember like what happened to Newman here, but I felt like Newman just simply did not have the car in traffic. Through what I can remember, or here, but anyway, I kind of have to speed things over here. So then lap 147 here, Dan Hamill grabbed the lead, and then there are reports from AJ Allmendinger right here, who was currently around 5th at the time right here, and that would. And I think there's like little problems with Andy's day right here because I think he finished dead last or second dead last, I believe. I'll have to check. And then also on lap 162 right here, the 8-time winner Jimmy Johnson falls a lap down. Johnson's car all day was just simply ill handling, and then later he would have engine problems right here. But overall, that was kind of when things started to get really bad for Johnson, or worse here. And then on lap 164 here, after staying green for 63 laps, caution number 6 here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spins again right here in turn number 4. Then we have pit stops again. Dan Hamlin, who was leader at the time, had another uncontrolled tire, and if you remember last week, an uncontrolled tire cost him a good top 5 finish right here last week. And because he was penalized, he had to go to the rear of the field, which gave the lead back to Kevin Harvick here. Restart here on lap 172. Kurt Busch was actually able to grab the lead away from Harvick, but then Harvick would get back right here about 20 laps later. But in the middle of all that, caution number 7, debris from Trevor Bayner here, and Johnson got the free pass, but that wouldn't really ever pay off for him right here. So then restart here lap 189, and then Kurt Busch got passed from Kevin Harvick right here, so Harvick got the lead back right here. And it was at this point in the race where it seemed like that Harvick was almost guaranteed to get another top 2 finish right here, and that would have made it 9 consecutive top 2 finishes right here. But a couple laps, but several laps after Harvick passed Busch, our 8th caution of the day came out when Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spun again. He smacked the wall, and this would most likely really end his day. I don't think he DNF'd, but I feel like this amount of damage would kind of keep his car from wrecking, if you can understand what I'm saying right here. And then we had pit stops once again right here. Several drivers stay out, such as, for example, Kane stayed out, Gillen, Annette, Busher, and Bain all stayed out right here. And then at this point, the 48 team was penalized for throwing equipment. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, really, Jimmy Johnson? Really, Jimmy Johnson's pit crew, you throw equipment? You know, you can just, like, run to them. Yeah, that was kind of one of the, like, bizarre moments I've ever seen from the 6-time champion, is actually throw equipment. When it's like, why is throwing equipment necessary? You know, that was just kind of one of the, like, all-time weirdest moments, and just kind of like come on moments from the 6-time champion right here. But anyway, right here, lap 216 right here, restart. Casey Kane leads right here. He was able to easily grab the lead away from Gillen right here, and right here, Gillen, Annette, Busher, and Bain were all holding up the field right here, which would eventually lead to caution right here when Joe Logano and Annette. Logano was trying to pass Annette right here on the high side, and Annette got loose, and they collided together in turns 1 and 2. I think Logano was able to barely keep off the wall, but I think Annette got some kind of damage, I believe. Restart here on lap 225. Caution number 10 here on lap 229. A multi-car crashing here in turns 1 and 2. And I think what started here was that Casey Mears and David Reagan got together right here, and when that happened, the driver behind that slowed down, which eventually caused of what they call the accordion effect right here, over drivers' nose to tail just started slamming into trailer here, and out of this crash right here, names like Mears, Earnhardt Jr., Reagan, and Allgaier and Menard were all collected here, and this would pretty much ruin their days. Well, I guess except for like Reagan here, who was actually able to get a top 5 finish, but I'll get to that in a moment here. And the list of everyone who was involved: Sam Hornish, Casey Mears, David Reagan, Paul Menard. I want to say Colwitt in 35 is, I think, the driver is another one. Justin Allgaier and Dale Jr. They were all involved here. The biggest crash of the day. Restart here on lap 239. Harvick takes the lead away from Casey here. And then around the midway point, we started to see the surprising top 10 crashes here. So just for example, Carl Edwards, Janet Murray, Clint Boyer are here, all having great top 10 runs are here. Right here, and then caution number 11 right here. The 51 slaps the wall. Then we have pit stops right here, and then Carl Edwards. I don't know. I forget if he stayed out or came in the road. I think what happened was that Carl Edwards, he actually got a really good pit stop right here, taking 4 tires, while everyone else had like their struggles. So I think, yeah, that's how Carl Edwards got the lead. Now I remember right here, and then. And a lap right after the pit stops, all 4 Gibbs cars were actually inside the top 8. And this would kind of begin the point of where we started realizing that like Gibbs has kind of redeemed themselves after kind of having either bad luck or just not good cars in like the first 5 races of the season or here. Then we have a restart right here after a lengthy caution here on lap 285. Cameron Harvick was able to grab the lead from Edwards right here. Regan Smith spins right here along with Ryan Newman and Michael Nett were also collected here, which brought the 12 caution restart lap 294 here. Brad Keselowski now takes the lead, so this is the first time I think we saw Brad Keselowski lead. It was. And then we saw Hamlin take second here, and then we saw Gordon inside the top 5 a few laps later right here. Denning was actually able to grab the lead away from Keselowski right here, but then Harvick got the lead back right here on lap 327 here. So let me say that. Lap 302, Brad takes the lead away from Harvick. Lap 309, Hamlin takes second. Lap 310, Gordon is in the top 5. Lap 312 right here. Not 312. Lap 316, Denny Hamlin regains the lead. Lap 327, Harvick gets the lead back right here. And Gordon was also moving in second right here, lap 330. Matt Kenseth was now the new second place driver at the time. And by the time it was like lap 333, pretty much the entire top 10 was like nose to tail here because of the lap traffic getting in the way of the leaders. But now, as I turn the page again, and that was a lot of talking. And this is kind of something that like NASCAR never point out, but if you remember, by around lap 341 here, there was actually a lot of smoke on the front stretch. So I don't know exactly what happened here, but if anyone remembers that, if you can remember that, that was kind of one of the like stranger like moments on the track that wasn't like a car failure or like a pit crew problem here. Just like random smoke just started like appearing onto the racetrack at that point, but it wasn't ever talked about by NASCAR on Fox. But then right here on lap 356 right here, caution number 13 right here, well, Michael Nett blows the tire, hits the turn 1 wall, probably one of the harder hits of the day. I will say. Pit stops in here, lap 358 right here. Then we have restart right here, caution number 14 right here. Paul Menard spins right here, and this was kind of one of the like highlight moments here from Patrick because she was able to narrowly avoid that spinner here, and Greg Biffle and Trevor Bayne also got some damage as well. Restart here, lap 374. right here. Martin Truex Jr. almost had a near spinner here. Kurt Busch, and actually, you know what? I'm just gonna like exit out here. That's not really worth talking about. Hamlin, and then about almost 20 laps after the restart, right here, Hamlin started catching Harvick, who was later at the time, right here, and then on lap 400 here, Hamlin became the new leader here. But then Harvick was able to charge back right here, and at this point, I was saying, since like it seems like that if you can get by Harvick, Harvick is gonna get by you, and that's kind of something that we saw throughout like the midsection of the race. But then around lap 400, yeah, 420 right here, we saw the 11 actually pull away from 4 right here, and then Harvick began losing positions right here, and this would kind of begin the point of where Harvick started to become irrelevant right here. And then we had caution number 15 right here when Edwards, who was running around 5th place right here, spun in turn stand 4. I don't think they showed like how Edwards had a flat tire. I think it was a right rear tire or a left rear. I can't remember here, but that kind of ruined Edwards' day, and if Edwards could had stay inside the top 10, all 4 Gibbs cars will have finished inside the top 10. But it seems like Carl Edwards' struggles continue for him right here. Then we have pit stops here on lap 334 here. Pit stops here. Matt Kenseth wins, while Denny Hamlin has an incredibly slow pit stop right here. I think it was 16.8 seconds when someone like Matt Kenseth had like 12 seconds right here. And then we had a restart here, but then all of a sudden here, Jeff Gordon, who I believe was on the, I'm trying to remember here. I don't know if he was on the outside or the inside, but nevertheless, Gordon was able to grab the lead away from Kenseth here on lap 442. And then around lap 447 here, we started seeing Hart fall back to 10th, which is where, by the time the race ended, which is right around where he would like finish right here. And then we saw Hamlin here move up into 3rd. And at this point in the race, it was very interesting because the thing is, at this point, it looked like that. It looked like that we had like at least like 5 drivers who had a chance to win, all running inside or close to like the top 5 right here. Right here, but it was kind of harder here. I think at this point in the race, I think the 2 fastest cars were Gordon and Hamlin at this point right here. But then all of a sudden here, caution number 16, the final caution of the day here, comes out for debris, and this debris here is very specific. It was a debris for a plastic Gatorade bottle that probably a driver threw out right here. That was like, it wasn't like anywhere on like the race surface, but the thing is, it was like right by like the pit wall on the front sticker right here, comes out right here, and this and I haven't like seen the comments of like fans' reactions right here, and I'll definitely be doing that after I'm done with this race review. But I'm sure that kind of like last week, this once again raises like a question of like, or makes you question NASCAR's decision to throw a caution for something. For like NASCAR, it makes you question NASCAR's decision to throw a caution for a plastic bottle out of the racing groove, you know. And when I saw that, I was definitely like, okay, I think a caution needs to be thrown out here, not because NASCAR is like an idiot or anything like that, just because I feel like that whether the debris is like on the surface or not, NASCAR says that if there's debris on the racetrack, then the caution needs to be thrown out here. However, part of me also wonders like how much, how hazardous is a plastic Gatorade bottle or here. I don't think it's going to like tear up a tire or anything like that, just because it doesn't have like the strength. And excuse me, here. Okay, I apologize for kind of getting off my seat right here. I had to actually charge my computer because I realized that there was only 5% left on it right here. But anyway, so that was kind of thing, and I'm sure at this point there are probably NASCAR fans right now probably getting mad at NASCAR once again for throwing at something that to them they might see as like hazardous right here. And this caution would be a huge turning point for a few drivers here because, for example, they came down pit road, and honestly, I don't understand why the drivers really came down pit road. I guess just simply because they had maybe they came down pit road just to get like fresher tires and make like final adjustments right here that could actually get the win. I guess that's probably the reason why they all came down pit road. But other than that, I don't really see much of a reason to come down pit road that late in the race. Right here, and then here pit stops right here. But the highlight, but the top news story of the pit stop: Jeff Gordon, the leader coming down pit road, too fast entering pit road here. But it wasn't exactly entering pit road; it was more entering. It was too fast in the middle of pit road here because what happened was that Gordon's pit stop is right after. Jeff Gordon's pit stall is right after like a monitoring line right here, and what often happens is that when you enter your pit stall, you might actually speed up a little bit right here. And when Gordon talked about after the race, he talked about he said that he basically that he thought that he did the same thing that he's done every other pit stop right here. So kind of a very sort of like interesting, and a little bit controversial we're here. And I know like Gordon fans or supporters are probably some of them are probably gonna blame NASCAR for being like, why'd you throw a caution for a harmless ball right here? I could just like see that like happening right here, and it's probably going out right now on the official NASCAR YouTube channel right here. But to me, I just kind of feel like that you can't really blame NASCAR for that. You can only the only to me, I think if I was a Gordon fan, I wouldn't be mad at NASCAR. I would be mad at Jeff Gordon for speeding right here. I mean, I know it's late in the race, but it's like, come on, you have to. You're better than that, Jeff Gordon. Come on, Jeff Gordon. You're kind of a little bit more better at that, but I can kind of understand it. And I was definitely, indeed, very sad to see that because I think Jeff Gordon was possibly maybe like one of the like two drivers that actually had a chance to actually hold off Hamlin right here. And yeah, and that was very sad. But the thing is, on the final restart, he was actually able to restart 19th, and he was able to finish 9th right here. So that was definitely a very impressive redemption. Obviously, not the win that he needs to get in the chase, but nevertheless, still impressive. And it was just kind of sad to see it happen here. But anyway, right here, it's now getting over 30 minutes right here. Right now, I need to start speeding over here. Tony Stewart and Colwood stay out right here on the restart right here on lap 467 right here. Matt Kenseth takes the leader right here away from Stewart, but then 1 lap later, Hamlin took the lead away right here. Then as soon as Hamlin took the lead, Matt Kenseth was not able to hold out Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski takes second right here around lap 482 right here, and then we said Brad Keselowski chased Hamlin here, and with like less than 20 laps to go, I was kind of on the fence on would NASCAR would Brad Keselowski be able to pass Hamlin, or is Hamlin gonna hold out Brad Keselowski right here? But it turns out Hamlin was able to hold up Keselowski here, even though Hamlin actually almost spun exiting turn number 4 here. He was able to hold up Keselowski here, and Hamlin would get his first career win since Talladega in May. He gets himself in the chase, and he wins at Martinsville for I think it is the 5th time right here. Yeah, but nevertheless, great run by Danny Hamlin right here. I was definitely happy to see him win right here. And also applause to Brad Keselowski for trying for making it very intense and exciting at the end of the race here. But also this race also serves as a streak ender for Kevin Harvick here because Kevin Harvick, I want to say, finished like 8th or so. I think he finished 8th, but I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to check that right here. But because Harvick finished 8th, this race brings an end to his 8th straight top 2 finishes here, and 8th straight top 2 finishes right here. And I gotta say, applause to Kevin Harvick here, because the thing is, a streak like that is not easier here, and I'm honestly kind of shocked that his streak was actually the most since 1975 when Richard Petty did it with 11. And to see that, I gotta give my applause to Kevin Harvick here, because that's not an easy thing here. But nevertheless, even if Harvick streak comes to an end, I think he'll still be very strong and always have top 3 cars. I think at this point for the rest of the season, but we'll just see what happens right here. But man, almost 34 minutes of talking about the race. But anyway, let's talk about where everyone finished right here. So I'll just go through here. Hamlin finished 1st right here, Brad Keselowski 2nd, Logano 3rd, Kenseth 4th, Reagan 5th, Truex Jr. 6th, Danica 7th, Harvick 8th, Gordon 9th right here, Murray 10th, 11th was Kane, 12th was Almirola, 13th was Boyer, 14th was Kurt Busch, 13th was Casey, 15th was Casey Mears, 16th was Regan Smith, 17th Carl Edwards, 18th Urbane, 19th Greg Biffle over here, 20th Tony Stewart, Ryan Castle finished 40th right here, Witt finished 22nd, Paul Menard got the 23rd place finisher here, Chris Buescher 24th, David Gillen 25th, Bealey 26th, Newman 27th here, Brett Moffitt 28th, Jeff Byrne 29th, 30th Josh Wise, 31st Matt DiBenedetto, 32nd Sam Morris Jr., 33rd Alex Kennedy, 34th Mike Bliss, 35th Jimmy Johnson, 36th Dale Earnhardt Jr., 37th Alex Bowman, 38th Chase Elliott, 39th Michael Nett, 40th Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 41st Austin Dillon, 42nd Justin Allgaier, 43rd AJ Allmendinger here. Yeah, answer here, but anyway, I guess like I have like two more things to talk about here, and then I'll end this right here. The two things I want to talk about is like basically talking about the drivers that strived and the drivers that struggled are here, and I guess we can talk about the drivers who had struggles are here, such as for example Jimmy Johnson are here. Jimmy Johnson, I think this was by far one of the most shocking, in my opinion, as a Johnson fan, one of the most shocking Johnson performances ever. Because the thing is, leading up this race, I think Johnson was inside the top 5 in every single session, practice and qualifying right here. And to see him finish 35th at a track that he's won at 8 times, I was like shocked right here. And the thing is, I don't know exactly what happened, because the thing is, you would think that if he was like inside the top 5 in every single session, that he would just be like, that he would have a top 5 car and possibly winning car right here. But to me, my theory, and I don't know if this is going to make very much sense right here, but maybe since Johnson Johnson was not like in like a cluster of cars in the race, in the way we saw it in practice, maybe his car drove differently in the cluster of cars than driving by himself in practice and qualifying, and maybe because of that, it made his car ill-handling here. But to me, I feel like at this point, Jimmy Johnson really needs to get his act together here, him and his team. Because to me, even though they won Atlanta and they're in the chase, I think honestly, if you finish 35th at a track that you won at 8 times, something is seriously wrong here. Something is seriously wrong here, and I'm concerned that the 40 team is not going to be able to solve that problem and get back on a dominant streak sometime in the next like month or two. That's what I got to say about him. Dale Earnhardt Jr. here, a 36th place finisher here. He had shifter problems, and then he got involved in a big crash right here. This was also a little bit of a shocker, just simply because he won the race in October right here. That was just kind of like a shocker. I already talked about Chase Elliott right here. The other one that kind of shocked threw me for a loop was Brian Newman here. He got the outside pole. He won first practice. What went wrong for him? Kurt Busch was definitely another shocker here. He obviously had momentum from Phoenix and Montana right here, but it seemed like that. Like Kurt Busch was like knocked to the outside late in the race, and he was just never able to recover. Stewart was not Stewart. Well, Stewart once again kind of shows another, disappointing finish right here, despite being in the lead late in the going right here. Jack Gordon overall not a very good day for Hendrick Motorsports, because the thing is, when you think about it, they've won at this track 22 times right here, and to see all five drivers finished outside the top 8. Shocker, Mendes, So something tells me that this year is not going to be really easy for Hendrick Motorsports, and I kind of feel like it's now starting to turn into like Haas versus Penske right here, and maybe Joe Gibbs will get into the mix, especially after today right here. Which brings me to the drivers that I definitely strive today. Denny Hamlin is one. Matt Kenseth is another right here. David Reagan definitely right here. Danica Patrick is another big one right here. And Mark Truex Jr. I think. Well, yeah, actually, Mark Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Logano still the first 6 races, they all still have top 10 finishes right here in every single race. So impressive run by all of them right here. So yeah, and I think the last thing I'm gonna touch on right here is just simply in 2 weeks from now, NASCAR goes to Texas Motor Speedway right here, a track that, to me, honestly, in my opinion, I think Texas needs to lose one of its races right here, because to me, I just feel like the spring Texas race to me is highly forgettable. The fall Texas race at least has like something, but to me, I feel like the way races are at Texas, they're not performing at the level of like Charlotte and Atlanta in the past 2 races. So I feel like at this point, I'm kind of thinking that like NASCAR should like dump one of the Texas races and go back to like a one event per year like they used to before 2003. You know, to me, Texas is a very interesting track right here. As a and now I'm looking up like driver averages as I speak. Texas must be way. I feel like I feel like that like I feel like that like several drivers have a chance of winning Texas Motor Speedway. Texas Motor Speedway right here. And I think in the past several years there have been different winners, I want to say. Excuse me, as now pull up the results are here. So Logano won the race in 2012. Kyle Busch won 2013. Biffle won 2012. Matt Kenseth won 2011. Danny Hamlin won 2010. Gordon won 2009. Carl Edwards won 2008. Jeff Burton won 2007. Casey Kane won 2006. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, the last 9 races have been won by 9 different winners right here. So yeah, like I was saying, I really do think that like anyone has a good chance to win it here. And the best average finishes are here. Well, let's see. Well, Kyle Busch has the best average finish, but he still has a car. Wait a second. I'm looking at the wrong thing right here. Never mind. Matt Kenseth has the best average finisher here at an 8.92. Johnson has the second best at 9.09. Danny Hamlin third, 10.78. Kyle Larson, well, technically Kyle Larson has only made 3 starts, so it doesn't count. Tony Stewart has the 4th best with 12.88. And Kyle Busch has 12.89, but he's not racing here. Harvick has 13.13 right here. So those are just the top drivers that have the best average finishes right here. But I think overall, I think I'm not really gonna tell who's I can't really exactly say who's gonna win, but if I have to make a prediction, I think it's gonna be someone on the. I think it's either going to be a Stewart Haas driver or a Gibbs driver. That's my prediction. Anyway, it looks like that now we're logging 42 minutes in here. So I just want to thank you for watching this race review. Continue, and I hope you can continue to support me by rating, liking, and commenting, and then subscribing. Here, I want to thank you for watching this race review. I'm SuperEVEEMASTER, and bye.